Well, hello again at Senior Mash, Talking Rugby Union. Again, many thanks to at Talk Rugby Union at Nat League, otherwise known talkingrugbyunion.co.uk or ncarugby.com. So last week's first effort seemed to be received quite well, so hoping to improve on that today. As I commented on last week, Substack has allowed me to start writing, and I found that really very good for me. I found it enjoyable, I found it stimulating, and currently I'm researching cricket and football in Rufford, Lancashire since 1885. I actually think I've bitten off more than I can chew in some respects, but it's thoroughly entertaining, and hopefully that piece of work will be on Substack in the next 4 weeks in the written form. But for rugby, my preference is video, and here we go. What's been happening in week 2? I've seen plenty from my armchair this week. I wasn't able to get out either Saturday or Sunday. It was a big weekend, my granddaughter's first birthday, but I have huge confidence that she'll be with Rugby Tots very soon. So last week I was at Sedgley Park to see Sedgley versus Esher in National 1, and Chris Hill, the editor of Talking Rugby Union, asked me to do some filming. I thought I'd share it with you now.
So about 15 minutes or so to go here at Park Lane. It looked like it was going to be the same script in the second half, with both teams trading tries at the beginning of the second 40, but Sedgley's experience has shone through since the break. They now lead 48-24, I'd say, with just over 15 minutes to go. Esher looked like they may have just run out of steam. They gave it a lot in that first period, but there's still time for them to hit back. So far for Sedgley, no Mark is just pulling penalty, potentially another Sedgley try, and Andy Riley looks like he's gathered it in the corner, and it looks like it's going to be a home win on opening day for the Tigers. And what a special way to mark the Dave Smith Memorial Day. The Tigers now over the half century. They lead 53-24 with the conversion to come.
Such a pleasure to help Chris last week at Sedgley Park. More so that it was the Dave Smith Memorial game, and it was very, very inspirational for me. And my very best wishes to the Smith family and Sedgley Park Rugby Club. So, looking around the results this weekend, first game I've focused on is actually a women's game played midweek in Bucks Super Rugby, University of Edinburgh versus Hartpury. And Hartpury have done remarkably well to secure victory. What impressed me the most was the social media activity leading up to the game, and also the fact that it's live streamed. And you'll see through the course of my debate, discussion, reflections today that I'll mention live stream on a few occasions. Equally good to see Gary Hetley of GH Media and Talking Rugby Union doing some really good work with the Scottish women's team. And if you've not seen his work, definitely take a look on social media. And I think on probably a monthly basis, there's work from Gary on the Talking Rugby Union site, but well worth a look. Very knowledgeable about the Scottish rugby landscape. Next game that I've featured is Macclesfield, who bizarrely find themselves not in National 2 North, but in National 2 West. And they had an opening game that saw them travel to Camborne. This week, it was Bourneville who were visiting Macclesfield. And 31-28 appears to be a very good game and a good result for Macclesfield. The connection for me with Macclesfield is that, first and foremost, one of my son Max's good friends from Sedgley Park, Jamie Harrison, is now playing at Macclesfield, and I wish him every success. Jamie, I've watched for many years. He's played for the Talking Rugby Union sponsored Red Panda Sevens, and he really is a very, very accomplished winger. I'm sure he'll do well at Macclesfield. And the second reason is that Macclesfield's head coach, Rhys Davis, Rhys was one of the first people that I met when my son Max started playing university rugby at Bath. In fact, Rhys was the captain. Rhys reappeared on the rugby scene for me when he started to play for Sale FC and subsequently for Lancashire in the county championship. So very best wishes to Rhys, and it's one that I'll be continuing to follow over the coming days, weeks, months. Picked up last week from the National League Rugby preview show the inclusion of Havant in the National Leagues. And I've got to say, I was really impressed with the way in which Havant got behind the National League review show. So I thought I'd just keep an eye on them this week. And they travelled over to Worthing and secured a famous victory. Worthing, for me, don't really know a lot about Worthing. Had one of the Red Panda Sevens team, Ben Loosemore, at the Worthing club for a season. But that's really the only connection I can see, remember with the Worthing club. But I'll be keeping an eye on both Worthing and Havant in the coming weeks. As I mentioned on last week's discussion, my favourites for National 1, Plymouth Albion. I think I've done the so-called commentator's curse. They were away at Dings, newly promoted Dings, and actually looks like a fairly emphatic victory for Dings. Plymouth, forget about my praise for you and my expectation that you are going to be National 1 champions, and just get back to winning ways, please. And then over in France, it was very interesting to see Charlie Morgan in the Daily Telegraph commentating about how many English journalists were flying over to France to cover the top 14 this season. And you can understand why when you see the quality of players in the top 14, and Owen Farrell was able to play his first home fixture in front of an adoring fan base, but also great to see his mum and dad there. So well done, Mr. Farrell. Keep it going, and I do hope that over the coming weeks, as I delve into some of my past memories, I'll be able to share some photographs of you, Mr. Owen Farrell, as a age group player at under 16s. I continue to learn about the value of club sponsors. It's great to see that in a number of social media posts by clubs, they're actually including reference to player sponsors, club sponsors. Really need to keep doing that, really need to keep that happening. It's a great way to activate sponsors. Rather than just a name, sometimes a hashtag or an @ would help, I think, but good to see the sponsors being mentioned. They're so important. Those sponsors also tend to take tables at the pre-match dinner, pre-match lunch. Really important. Gets new fans down to watch a game. They'll come back. So we can help to improve the visibility of the sport at all levels in the UK. But with sponsors' help, it's even easier to do that. And we've got to find ways to leverage those sponsors. And hopefully we can explore some of that over the next 10 weeks. I think National League Rugby, in the absence of the Premiership, is really punching way above its weight at the moment. And I would really urge the RFU to get behind this. Don't hide behind the @RFU handle and ignore national leagues on your @England. When you look at the number of followers you've got at England Rugby, that's how you get the message across. So come on, RFU, use your assets to drive the sport. Use your assets to encourage people to play the game and to watch the game. You can do it, but you need to want to do it. And live streaming, this is good. I mentioned Luctonians last week, and this week University of Edinburgh being able to live stream their games, allowing people across the country to participate in games being played. Really important. And as I see people using live streaming, I'm going to shout this out and I'm going to say, well done, and keep it going. And if there's anything I can ever do to help, just DM me on X @SeniorMash. I like the graphics that were being used to promote the local derbies that were a key part of this weekend's National League programme. What a great idea to have Derby weekend so early in the season. From memory, it only used to be around the Christmas game, but so good. And top right, you can see just how popular Derby weekend was in the Northwest. That's Fylde Rugby Club, and they were playing local rivals, Preston Grasshoppers. Again, it looked like a belter of a game with Fylde coming out on top. On a more sombre note, it was with great sadness that we all learned about the death of a Bishop Stortford player, Max Lever, and age 31, running for a train for work and suffered a coronary. Max's family have set up a Just Giving page to support screening of coronary in young people. If you get a chance, go on the Bishop Stortford socials. They've got links through to the pages that you need. And it really is important that we all get checked out. And age shouldn't be the difference. Right hand side's one from the archives. I had a look at some of the things that we were doing to support Sevens rugby in the UK. Great help from Max Ashcroft and Alex Key in putting together a real leading team for Sevens. We appeared at Kinsale. You can see at the very front, Wales Sevens star Stefan Andrews, and in the rear, Gloucester's Freddie Clark and Bath's Ruaridh McConaughey. That guy Ben Loosemore that I told you about at Worthing is peering over the shoulder of the trophy. What a great event that Kinsale Sevens is. And I've got so many photographic memories of multiple tournaments over in Kinsale, and I'll share those with you as the weeks go by. But just to give you a flavour of some of those memories. This week, I've seen some interesting tweets, interesting posts on Facebook. I'm just loving the hair styling to meet the shirt design. Pretty impressive. Well done, Bristol Bears. Talking Rugby Club really upping the way in which they present the team sheet, and really good to see this. Got involved with Talking Rugby Club in 1998 and delighted to see their success continues with mini and juniors, but also in the senior game. And good luck to them this season. You'll be getting plenty of mentions and plenty of photographs from the archives. For Sale FC, they did a really interesting post this week encouraging people to come down and watch a Manchester derby. What I liked was the fact that they were talking about how to get under 16s in free and ticket offers for other members. Good initiative, need to drive the numbers. So well done, Sale FC. One of the doyens of X seems to be a Rugby Inside Line. I've found their reporting very enjoyable. I noted that one of the things that they do is they extract news from other media. They don't shy away from referencing who that other media is. To see Kevin Sinfield being offered a new 3-year deal is really very exciting for me. I think he is one of the most inspirational figures in any sport, and I expect him to continue to make his mark on British life, not just rugby. So well done, Kevin Sinfield. And Sale FC are back again. I took this particular tweet because I actually enjoyed the me and my shadow quote, but also the fact that the photographer has done such a wonderful job of catching Tom Brady alongside one of the club sponsors. So important. Well done, Sale FC, for this. And here's that England Rugby University's tweet promoting Bucks Super Rugby. And yep, Edinburgh University Ladies Rugby Football Club faced last season's champions Hartpury. And it was an exciting game. But just look, watch the game live now. So come on, let's start watching live rugby together. And for me, again, just pointing out the value of sponsors. You'll see from the Bishop Stortford Man of the Match, it's not just celebrating Jack's achievement here, it's actually calling out the sponsor, Russell Partnerships. Very, very good work by the social media team at Bishop Stortford. And how can you ignore Antoine Dupont, decorated with France's highest award, the Legion of Honour? So, Antoine Dupont, you make rugby special, whether it's rugby sevens, whether it's international, whether it's club, whether it's European rugby. Long may that continue. Keep bringing your unique passion and skill to the game.